part 9 of making a Halo Infinite cosplay. This one is all about the boots. Starting off with the shoes, I bought these slip-ons online. I used a knife to cut out these holes on the side of the heels, which I'll explain later in the video. Next, I'll cut out these foam inserts. The best way to do these is to lay the 3D print on the foam, trace the outline of the print, and then come in about an inch and draw another line, and then make your cut there. I'm going to be adding 3 layers total of foam. Depending on the 3D print and your shoe size, you may need to add more or less. For the 3rd layer of foam, I'm going to cut out this small rectangle. This is so I can wrap nylon webbing around the toe of the shoe and then under that foam to make a secure connection. Then it's time to cut out the foam inserts for the heel portion of the boot. Using the same method as the front, I'll trace the outline of the 3D print on the foam, come in about a half an inch and make my cut there. I always add an extra layer on the heel, and for the final layer I'm going to make the cutouts next to where the holes are on the shoes. You can see I've threaded nylon webbing through those 2 holes, which are then ultimately going to be fed underneath that foam, sandwiched in between those layers to again create a secure connection. So let's get everything glued. I use a combination of contact adhesive and hot glue. If you haven't used contact adhesive before, you have to apply the glue to both surfaces, making sure you spread it into a thin layer to allow it to dry. You want it to be touch dry before connecting the 2 parts. And when you do connect the 2 parts, they will bond instantly, so make sure you line them up correctly. If it's only connected by an edge, you can peel it like I'm doing here and kind of place it back in forcefully, but once it's made that connection, it will be pretty difficult to remove. You can kind of prepare all your parts by adding contact adhesive to all the surfaces you need, and by the time you reach the last part, the first parts will be dry and ready to stick. If there's any gaps, I go in with a hot glue gun and seal those up. Before the hot glue cools down, I insert the next layer. After adding the second to last layer, it's time to work on the shoe. Insert the nylon webbing through the holes and make sure you add contact adhesive to the inside of it. Once that's glued down, push the strap through the hole on the foam. It can be a little bit tricky, so you might need to use pliers to pull them through. Before threading through the other side, line up the heel and glue it down. After pulling through the next part of the strap, I'm going to glue both of those ends to the bottom of the foam. I'm going to add some hot glue before placing that final layer into the heel, making sure to push it firmly down once you have it in place. I like to go in and add some hot glue to reinforce some of the connections. Next, it's time to work on the front of the shoe. Using the same methods as we did on the heel, we're going to use contact adhesive and hot glue to attach the layers of foam. You can reinforce any of the parts with hot glue like I'm doing here. Second layer in, with contact adhesive, I glue the nylon webbing to the toe of the shoe. The final layer of foam that goes under the toe of the shoe is a small rectangle piece, allowing me to wrap the nylon webbing around it. I use contact adhesive and hot glue to attach it to the front. Before pressing down firmly, I make sure the shoe is lined up properly. And there you go. That's how I attach shoes to 3D printed boot armor. There's definitely many ways to do this, but this is a method that works for me.